Why strong people walk away without a word. There comes a moment in every life, quiet, unannounced, when you realize that walking away doesn't mean defeat. It means freedom. It means power. It means that you've grown too much to stay in a place that demands you shrink. That moment doesn't come with a bang. There's no dramatic music, no shouting, no fiery declarations. It's silent, still, and in that stillness, something shifts. You stop explaining. You stop defending. You stop hoping they'll understand. You simply turn and go. And to those watching from the outside, it may seem cold, passive, weak, even, but it is anything but. Because walking away without a word is one of the strongest things a person can do. It's not a sign of surrender, it's a declaration of self-respect. A quiet promise to yourself that you will no longer negotiate your worth, argue your boundaries, or fight to be seen by those who refuse to see you. It takes more courage to leave in silence than to stay and scream. We live in a world that glorifies reaction. If someone disrespects you, you're told to clap back. If someone misunderstands you, you're expected to explain, justify, perform. Social media has trained us to believe that silence is weakness, that we must respond to every slight, every insult, every misunderstanding. But strength is not found in the noise. It's forged in restraint. Strong people don't walk away because they're incapable of fighting. They walk away because they've mastered the art of choosing which battles are worthy of their spirit, and which ones only drain it. They know that staying in spaces where your value is questioned will eventually make you question it too. So they leave, not because they don't care, but because they care enough about themselves to stop begging for what should be freely given: respect, peace, dignity. There is a deep kind of heartbreak that comes from realizing a connection, whether a relationship, a friendship, or even a job, no longer serves you. It's not always because someone did something terrible. Sometimes, it's just the slow erosion of alignment. The quiet realization that you've outgrown a version of yourself that used to fit perfectly in that space. And yet, we often linger. We stay because we want closure. We want to be understood. We want to feel justified in our leaving. But that need for validation becomes a chain. It tethers us to pain longer than necessary. Strong people don't wait for permission to walk away. They don't wait for the other person to finally say, "You were right." They don't wait for a perfect ending. Because they understand, sometimes the most empowering closure is the one you give yourself. The silent exit is not about being heartless. It's about preserving your heart. Stoic philosophy teaches us a fundamental truth. We cannot control others, only ourselves. The Stoics didn't waste energy trying to change people who didn't want to grow. They focused instead on mastering their own responses, their own boundaries, their own peace. When you walk away without a word, you are living this principle. You're saying, "I choose peace over performance. I choose growth over validation. I choose myself." This isn't easy. Everything inside you might scream for resolution. You may want to write that final message, craft that perfect explanation, deliver the truth one last time. But strength whispers, "Let it go." Because you begin to understand, explaining yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you is not noble. It's exhausting, and it never works. Your silence becomes your boundary. And boundaries, unlike walls, are not about shutting people out. They are about keeping your integrity in. Walking away without a word also demands emotional discipline. It requires you to resist the urge to prove a point. It asks you to sit with discomfort, to endure the space where your ego wants justice. But your soul knows better. That space is sacred. It's where you begin to rebuild yourself from within, not by how others see you, but by how you choose to honor your inner world. This act is especially powerful because it goes against everything the world tells you. You're told to make noise, to fight back, to not let them win. But strong people don't play games they've already won internally. They don't need applause for walking in truth. They don't need an audience to validate their decision. Their strength is self-sourced, quiet, steady, untouchable. Psychologically, walking away without engaging activates what some therapists call radical self-respect. It means that you're no longer centering someone else's behavior in your emotional life. You're no longer waiting for their words to give you permission to feel worthy. You are reclaiming control. And that kind of control doesn't come with fanfare. It comes with grief, with stillness, with long nights where you sit with your choice and ask yourself if you did the right thing. But over time, that silence starts to speak. It begins to tell you the truth, that you didn't abandon anything worth keeping. That your peace wasn't too much to ask for. That you didn't leave too soon. You left right on time. You left the moment you realized you were no longer betraying them. You were betraying yourself. There's another reason strong people walk away without a word. They understand timing. They know that not every ending requires an explanation in that moment. Sometimes, the understanding will come later, for you. For them, maybe even for both. But the need to make someone understand now is no longer a priority. What matters more is alignment, is healing, is self-preservation. They also know that silence creates space for reflection, for clarity, for growth, and sometimes, in that space, people finally hear what words could never convey. Sometimes, the most profound truths are revealed in the absence of noise. Walking away becomes a form of leadership, a way of teaching by example. It shows others that strength is not found in control, but in release. That you can love someone and still let them go. That you can be loyal and still leave when your spirit is suffocating. To be clear, not everyone who leaves silently is strong. Some leave to avoid accountability. Some ghost to escape the consequences of their actions. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the quiet departure that comes after you've given your best, spoken your truth, tried to build bridges, and realized that staying would cost you more than leaving ever will. We're talking about walking away not in anger, but in wisdom. Not to punish, but to protect. Not out of bitterness, but out of boundless self-respect. In time, you'll look back and understand that silence was your turning point. That not saying anything said everything. You'll stop rehearsing the things you could have said. You'll stop fantasizing about the perfect mic drop moment. And instead, you'll feel a quiet pride blooming inside you, not arrogance, but alignment. Not vengeance, but victory. The kind of victory that no one claps for, but changes your entire life. Because when you walk away without a word, you walk toward something greater. Toward peace, toward healing, toward yourself. And that, more than any argument, any explanation, or any validation, is the mark of real strength. Not everyone will understand why you left. Not everyone needs to. But you will know. And that's enough.